Hey guys, is this better? Can you see and hear me better? I'll wait for a few seconds to see if anybody will come on. I didn't know that the wind was that bad. Okay, I see some people. I see Marlene. Okay, this is better. Okay, woohoo, much better. Praise the Lord. That's not gonna work. All right, let's do it like this. Okay, I can't look at your comments. And so, all right, I think I was on number 6. I think I said, I like nice things, but I'll never go broke getting them. Yes. So I am a bargain shopper. I am very frugal with my coins. So yeah, I do. I love nice things, but I will never go broke getting them again. Okay. I've learned that in my most seasoned age. All right. That's number 6. Number 7. Prosperity is not all about wealth. Prosperity is not all about wealth. Prosperity for me is about my physical, my mental, my emotional, and my spiritual health. Okay? They're all my prosperity factors. It's not just about wealth with me. Wealth is great, but if you are crossed up crazy, if your body is breaking down, and you are an emotional creature and you live by your emotions, then all the wealth in the world will not make you happy. And so prosperity to me is a very well-rounded person who is healthy emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, all of that good stuff. Okay. What, if any, regrets, and I try not to live in the regret lane. Very, very seldom do I have any regrets about my life. But if there were any, and if I had to name one regret, it would be that in my 20s that I would have cared more about my physical health. Like I would have conditioned myself more physically, if I would have maintained myself more physically. My mom tried to tell me, she would say stuff like, don't eat that whole pizza by yourself. I think I've shared that with you guys. Or don't eat that whole bag of Funyuns. I wish I would have been more health conscious, because at 49, really adopting a plant-based lifestyle is not difficult, but it is harder after you have reached that 40 plateau. I would say between the ages of 36 and 40 to really rid yourself of all that unnecessary weight. And so if I had any regrets, and that's a harsh word, I hate using the word regret. I wish I would have paid more attention to my health in my 20s. So for you young girls out there, some of my mentees are listening. You guys work out, take care of your body, take care of your health. Don't just think about the moment. You're living in the moment, but think about your quality of life when you are in your 60s and your 70s. How do you want to be? How do you want to be maintained? So think about that. Okay. I think my emotional struggles, I guess I would say daddy issues in my 20s. If I had to name what they were, definitely I have always had a very good base of people that I could dump onto, which is why I'm so pro therapy. Not just because of me, but I'm so pro you having someone to talk to that you can process your feelings and your thoughts with. It is mega important that you have someone in your life who is objective, and they will hear your whole story. They will look at all angles. They can tell you from an objective place where you really are. Okay. So I've had a pretty good handle on my emotional, my mental, because I've always, again, had someone that I could talk to, which is very, very important. I've always had someone that I can process my actions with, my thoughts with. And listen, it's not always a peer. I've always had someone that is seasoned in my life. That's why I'm so pro Titus 2. Love it, love it, love it. I've always had besides my own mother, who I miss tremendously, but I've always had a mother type figure, whether it's in business or it's in the church, that I could really glean information from, respect from, and they have the power and the ability to pull my coattails. Okay. Number 8, what have I learned in my 49 years? I need to really do a better job in celebrating me. I do. I'm very hard on myself. And at 49, if I had to read my own Vita, I'm really well accomplished. But I think because I'm like that, it keeps me humble. Nothing that I have is of my own doing. So I have dedicated everything that I do, or who I am, or who people think what I am or what I have, definitely to God. But I'm always in grind mode, meaning I don't just get comfortable with, oh, that's good. It's like, okay, so that can be better. Like, what can I do to make that better? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think, if I had to assess me at age 49 today, I really can do a better job of celebrating me. I think I do a great job in celebrating my friends and other people, but I am very hard on me. One thing that my husband said to me when I obtained the doctorate is that, okay, so now what are you going to get ready to go to school for? And I was like, what? I'm not going to school. I'm done with school. And so I even find myself sometimes going on websites, school websites and catalogs and saying, okay, so, that's a nice postdoctorate certificate. Yeah, I'm super hard on me. So that in my 49 years, if that's something that I will change, I need to celebrate me a little bit more. Okay. Number 9, everywhere that I've never wanted to go has been my greatest advancement. Let me repeat that. That's tweetable. I don't tweet, but anyway, everywhere that I've ever wanted to go has been my greatest advancement. And what do I mean by that? I never wanted to teach. Never. I didn't like children. I didn't. I remember when my mom told me, she said, you'd be an excellent teacher. You're so good at doing that. And I said, I don't like kids. But everywhere that I've ever not wanted to go has been my greatest advancement. Teaching is the cornerstone of everything that I am. It is the absolute greatest joy and job that I've ever possessed. I absolutely love teaching. I love watching the aha moments. I love giving information. I love expounding upon things. I love teaching. And so everywhere that I've never wanted to go has been my greatest advancement. I never wanted to move to Benson. Who wants to move to Benson? Nobody. And, for those of you who aren't here or who live in Benson, love Benson, from Benson, I'm giving you my truth. It's my birthday. Okay. But I never wanted to go to Benson, but it was the greatest place for me to advance in every area of my life. The most important was it developed me. It helped to develop me more in the area of intercessory prayer. It helped me to develop my seer eye. It helped me to have empathy. Oh God, it helped me to have empathy for people because I was not very empathic. I was not that person. I did not have positive regard. And I was very quick to dismiss. Benson taught me to be tender. It taught me to be kind. It taught me to be loving. And it taught me to be a better counselor. In all honesty, it did. It taught me how to be a better counselor. All right. Number 10, my passion to see others and set free from trauma is a result of my own trauma. So yes, everything that God does for you, he's going to use for his glory if you allow him to. So I want to see people set free from father wounds, from church hurt, from divorce, anything that causes you to stay stuck in a traumatic state. I'm all for that. And so I have such a passion and a compassion for people who are stuck, because that was me. And so I'm going to do everything in my power that the Lord allows me to help people not to be in that place. All right. Let's see. Okay. This is great. So I've made peace with my past and my future. So at 49, I've made peace with my past and my future. And I want to read to you the two scriptures that help me with that. I have made peace with my past and with my future. There is nothing as disheartening to a counselor as it is that people live in the past and they are very fearful of their future. So I've made peace with my past and my future with these two scriptures. The first one is Romans 8:28. And you all know me by now. I love the Amplified. I want to read that in your hearing because I hope that this breaks you free from any change that has really been tackling you. But this says, and we know with great confidence that God, who is deeply concerned about us, causes all things to work together as a plan for good for those who love God, to those who are called according to his plan and purpose. Listen, there is nothing that I have been through in my past that God didn't already ordain and know about. And that sets me absolutely free. I never live in the land of woulda, shoulda, coulda. Can't do it, won't do it. Nothing you can do to make me go there. Okay? Because all things that I've ever been through has done nothing but work together for my good. Now, the second scripture that I absolutely love and live on is Jeremiah 29:11. It says, for I know the plans and thoughts that I have for you, says the Lord, plans for peace and well-being and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. So I never worry about the future. Do I plan? Absolutely. Do I have goals and aspirations? Most definitely. Do I worry about that? Not one iota. Because I know that God, who foreknew me before my mama met my daddy, he predestined me, he ordained me. Nothing that I've gone through has caught him by surprise, and nothing that I will go into will be something that he didn't allow or ordain. He's given me a hope and he's given me a future, and it is to an expected end. And so I'm very grateful for that. Okay. So I've learned that in my old years. Okay. Number 13, I'm very deliberate about my mind, my environment, and my space. I'm very deliberate about the atmosphere in which I dwell. Okay. So even when I was in the school system, I was very deliberate about my classroom. As a guidance counselor, I was very deliberate about my office. As a principal, assistant principal, I was very deliberate. Well, you know, as much as you can be deliberate because you're always doing stuff. But as a district administrator, I was very deliberate about my atmosphere, what came in, what came out, even the smell. I'm very deliberate about the smell of my atmosphere. I'm very deliberate about what sounds are in the atmosphere. You have to become deliberate. I'm very deliberate about the atmosphere. You can be a change agent. So when you walk into a room or when you have the room, it should be something, the atmosphere should be conducive for you to produce or for you to have peace. And so I'm very deliberate about my mind, my environment, and my space. Very, very deliberate. I think 2 years ago, my husband asked me, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, I want 24 hours of solitude. I don't want to go on a family trip. I want to be by myself. Now, some people say, well, gosh, that's mean. It's my birthday. I can do what I want to do for my birthday. And sometimes the solitude, not loneliness, you can be alone and not be lonely. And so the solitude of what I wanted to do, I like to eat at a certain place. I like to, I don't necessarily go to the beach to get in the water. I go to the beach to pray, to look at the waves. And so I wanted that solitude, that environment, that particular space. So you have to be deliberate about what you want. All right. I can hear that, honey. You're in my live. Thank you. My husband is in the room. He doesn't realize that he's got his phone on. You want to stay? Okay. All right. I wanted to share two of my favorites with you. My favorite things. And this right here, if you're in the gift giving business, these are two of my absolute favorite things that I love. This, and you see it's empty. Can you see that? See, it's almost empty. I may have about 1 or 2 good squirts. But this is La Vie est Belle by Estee Lauder. This is my signature fragrance. So for those of you who always ask me, oh my God, you smell so good. What is that you're wearing? It's this. La Vie est Belle by Estee Lauder. It is my absolute favorite fragrance in the world. It is my signature fragrance, and I absolutely love it, especially because I have a lot of sinus draining all the time. It's not very strong. It's not overpowering, and I'm not, sneezing all day. I love it. And as you can see, I use it and it's gone. So I'm going to have to Amazon me some since I can't go to Belk and get any because Belk is closed. And this is my absolute favorite ice cream. Can you see that? I'm going to put that up there. This is So Delicious, dairy free. So what have I learned at 49? That as much as I love cheese and some dairy stuff, doesn't do me well. So I've switched my ice cream, and this So Delicious, dairy free, salted caramel cluster cashew milk is my favorite ice cream. And I should say at the moment, right? I go through these phases of what's my favorite. So this is my favorite at the moment. Now, I took the time to wash it out because I did not save it for my birthday, which was my intention. And so it's gone. So I have no birthday snacks. It's okay. Don't feel sorry for me. It was good while it lasted. All right. Also, one of my favorites, and let me see if I can find it, is my lipstick. So I have to credit my aunts and my cousin. Woohoo! Shout out to the White family, my Berghoff family. We did like a lipstick something for Christmas, one of the holidays that we had last year. And they introduced me to NYX, right? They introduced me to this liquid matte lip cream. Oh my God. This has been a game changer for me. So I have, I don't know how many colors, but these are my favorite lip sticks, lip cream, lip gloss, what have you. Okay. This is my favorite. Let's see. Jeggings are my favorite. I have discovered at 49 that I love jeggings. What are jeggings? Jean leggings. I don't know how many pairs of jeggings. It's sad. It really is sad. When I left the school system, I stopped dressing up. I think I did that for a year. I did not dress up in my private practice. And maybe that was a bit of rebellion for me because I've always been a professional dressed woman. And so I felt like I had my own practice. I can just do what I want to do until I went to see one of my mentors. And he said to me, do you own anything besides yoga pants? Oh my God. I was like, wait a minute. So then I slowly started dressing up again. The best thing for me about jeggings is I hate to iron, so you don't have to iron them. Then they look good with tennis shoes, and you can put on some pumps or some nice, really nice shoes. But I love big tunic tops, right? Because it's not confining, doesn't make you feel like you don't need to wear a girdle or anything. And so I love that. I love the jean experience. I love, love, love jeans. And I love, love, love shoes and pocketbooks. Okay, that's all about me. One of my favorite desserts is birthday cake or wedding cake with whipped icing. So I don't know if I can, my husband just put this here. I guess he ran out to Sam's Club this morning, which he wasn't supposed to do because we're quarantining. But he bought me a cake. And I don't know if anybody's going to share it with me. Okay, can y'all see that? I absolutely love birthday cake. And sometimes I just will search for people who are having cake. Because I love cake. So that's one of my favorite desserts. It has to be whipped icing, though. I really don't like the cream icing at all. I like the whipped icing on my cake. I always have a song in my heart. That's number 18. Always have a song. I always have theme music. So there's usually a song playing in my head when I wake up. And it's just there. It's just there. I used to have to have Joshua help me to tell me who the artist is so I can look it up. But anyway, there's always a song playing in my head. I hope I'm not by myself. There's got to be somebody else out there who always has a song playing in their head, and they have their own theme music, right? So today, Just Fine by Mary J is my song. It's in my head when I woke up, and so that's my theme for today. Silver jewelry is my favorite, although you see me bedazzled this morning with all this jewelry, this beautiful jewelry, this ornate jewelry. Usually, my silver necklace, my silver earrings, and my silver bangles. I love silver jewelry. That is my signature look. And big chunky necklaces and earrings. I love that. And it's funny to me because I was a tomboy until I was in the 9th grade. And my mom used to always say to me, why don't you change your earrings? I bought you some earrings. I didn't want to do all that. It just takes too much effort. I don't know when I became girly. But I did. I became girly, and I love earrings, shoes, pocketbooks, and all things girl. Let's see. I already talked about teaching being one of my favorite activities. I love to host. I don't know if anybody knows that about me. I love to host things at my house. We had a New Year's Eve bash here at our house, and it was so fun. It was absolutely a blast. And I did something different that I've never done before. Usually I do all the cooking, but I did ask the people to come when they did come to bring a dish or to bring something. But that's fun. I love being around people. I love serving them. I love making sure that, people are laughing or having a good time or feeding them, just not in the atmosphere that has to be regimented, but I love entertaining at our home. And one of my desires is to own a cabin somewhere and do like retreats. So that's coming. Yeah, that's coming. To own a cabin and do some retreats. I absolutely love my locks. Love them. I think, and I don't know if Tara's still on here. She's my loctician. They are 4 or 5 years old. They're all the way down to my behind. I love them. I should have done it earlier. I think I did the big chop at age 40. So, I just absolutely, and since we've been quarantined, listen, you've seen me in videos. I've been on Facebook and I had the ball on top of my head. I had that style since February. It's April. So I just took it down this week and she did the 2-strand twist and it's still 2-stranded. And then when you unravel that, it's going to be really curved. I just love it. Maintenance free. For those of you who are on the fence about locking your hair, I would say do it. Do it better. Just go. Do it. It's the best thing since molasses and butter. Okay. I wish I would have taken piano lessons when I was younger. I think I shared with you guys right before Christmas or sometime in the spring in the fall. I started the piano thing. I don't have time. It's time consuming. You have to you have to plan those things or block it out. And so I did maybe 2 lessons, and I get frustrated easily. So I put that on the back burner, but I still want to take piano lessons. I guess this is kind of a secret, but not so much since all of you are on here and this is live. I've always wanted a tattoo. Yeah. I actually went with my roommate in college to get one. I had my $70. That's how much it cost back then. And she screamed, and I couldn't go through with it. She looked like she was in pain. But the urge to get one has never left me. So maybe I will, be bold enough to get one before I turn 50. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, have a year. I already told you my favorite ice cream, my favorite chips. I already told you Cape Cod kettle chips. For those of you who are in the business of giving gifts, I love Cape Cod kettle chips, barbecue only, barbecue. Okay. My favorite breakfast eateries are diners. Oh, let me just say that, guys. There is something about eating breakfast in a diner. What is that about? I love it. I actually love going to, there's a place in Dunn called Waffle. What's it called, honey? Triangle Waffle. It's called Triangle Waffle. I love going in there, and I love listening to them get down the real plates and the real coffee mugs, and they make the sound, when you're putting plates together. I just love that. I love the atmosphere. I love the cooking on the griddle and the grill. And I love it when they say, order up. I just love it. I love diner. And I think it's because I grew up watching Alice with the 3 girls and Mel's Diner. Yeah. So I love diners. That's my absolute best favorite place to eat breakfast besides Cracker Barrel. Y'all know Cracker Barrel is my place. I can eat there all day, every day. But a diner, a good diner with all that noise and people talking, and that's my absolute favorite. So if you didn't know that about me, know that I love diners. I also love eating off of real plates, but I don't like washing dishes, so I don't do it. So you'll see me serve my family, oh God, the shame, on paper plates. I have had some really nice dishes. My husband, as a matter of fact, bought me some really, really beautiful plateware, dinnerware. And we had a house fire. And so all of that burned or got damaged in the fire. And I haven't had the time to go look for a different pattern or some really nice dinner plates. But I do have some. But I just hate washing them. So we have a dishwasher, so that helps out. What's my biggest thorn in my side right now? My student loans. So I'm talking to the young people right now. If you cannot or help it, don't go the route of student loans. You can't die and get rid of them. Okay. You can't go bankrupt. You can't. Student loans are like the Paul Thorn in my side right now. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Okay. If I had to do it all over again, I would just sacrifice and pay out of my pocket if I could. Or I would just do a degree, work a little bit, do a degree, work a little bit. Student loans are just the worst. This is a question that young people ask me all the time, either in teaching or counseling them. If you had to do it differently, what would you do different? And my answer is always the same. Absolutely nothing. I would do nothing in my life any differently than the way I've done it. And I'm going to tell you why. I just gave you those 2 scriptures, Jeremiah 29:11 and Romans 8:28. Everything. All things work together for my good. I would do absolutely nothing different besides the student loans. But even that, the degrees, they all did their part. They helped get me to where I am today. Every degree opened a door. So I would do absolutely nothing in my life any differently at 49 than I would have done at 29, that I wouldn't have done at 19. My life has been really, really good, and I'm really, really thankful to God. I've learned that success is the direct result of hard work. Can I say that one more time? Nobody's going to give you anything. Nothing is going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You're going to have to work to obtain. Work. Hard work. So when you see glory, you got to know the story is work. Okay? Work. I love that song by Rihanna. Yes, it's true. I have worked, and worked hard. And so success is worth the work. Okay? You got to be willing to put in the early mornings, and you got to be willing to do late nights. And you're going to have to be willing to get dirty. You're going to have to be willing to be ostracized, criticized, and said no to. But you are going to have to put in the work. All right. What have I learned? Number 32. I've learned that your purpose in life doesn't change. Your purpose in life doesn't change, but your assignments do. And the pattern for shift in my life, I've noticed in my 49 years, my pattern for shift has been every 5 years. Every 5 years, I get a little antsy, and every 5 years, there's been a shift. But the shifts are not bad. So the shifts involve advancements, expansions, and upgrades. Okay? So your purpose doesn't change, but your assignments do. And make sure that the assignments that you have and that you take on, they are advancing you. There's a shift of advancement, expansion, and an upgrade. Okay, that's 32. 33. Oh, I'm going to have to read this one. I wrote down a long paragraph. Number 33. I've learned that it's okay to jump without a parachute and just faith it. Okay. In other words, every detail of your life does not need to be in your control. Okay. So I have relinquished the controls to the controller, and I've always landed on my feet. Now, did you hear that? When you relinquish the controls to the controller, you don't have to worry about a parachute because you will always land on your feet. I did not know that in my 20s. I did not even know that in my early 30s. But I have learned over the last 10 years to relinquish my control to the controller, and I noticed and noted that I always land on my feet, okay? Because on the way down of this jump, on this trusted jump, on this faith jump, God has always given me the superhuman strength to walk away without a scratch, without a wrinkle, and without an altercation or even a blemish, okay? So I've learned that. I've learned that you can just jump without a parachute, and you relinquish the controls. The controller will get you. He will sustain you, and you can land on your feet, walking away without a single scratch. All right. I've learned that in my 49 years of living. All right. What else have I learned? 35. That my voice and my range and my reach is powerful, not because of me, okay, but because of the purpose, that God's purpose that I have. So when you notice that your voice, your range, and your reach is powerful, and because I, Miranda, have surrendered every gift that I have to the Lord, they carry weight, and it's the weight of His glory. But the weight is a huge responsibility. So if you have the weight and it's a responsibility, and you know that your voice, your range, and your reach is powerful, you will not abuse it. You cannot abuse it. You won't misuse it. You can't abuse it. And you need to be very humble, okay? Very humble and very cognizant of what your voice, your range, and your reach can do to people. It is an influence. You have to be very careful. And I said all of that to just say you need to steward your influence. Steward your influence. There's a lot of people who have influence and it's not a good influence. So if you are a gossiper and all you do is gossip, your influence is bad, right? You're influential, but your influence is not good. If you are a prognosticator or negative, then your influence is bad, but you have influence. So you have to really steward your influence. Be mindful of the weight that your voice carries. That's it. Be mindful of the weight that you carry, your reach, your range. Number 35. My husband is one of my most absolute favorite people. Yeah, he is. If you are married to someone and you can't say that your spouse is one of your favorite people, I'm definitely not telling you to divorce them, but you really need to examine you. What I have learned in my 15 years of being with him and my 13 years of being married to him is that God has used this relationship ultimately to help me to maintain my love walk. Okay? So when you're married, think about it. We're talking about we're the bride of Christ, right? So when you're married, it's the ultimate relationship to help you cultivate what unconditional love really looks like. You know, you're talking about joining together with someone who is the direct opposite of you. You're raised different. Your values, sometimes are different as far as how you were raised. But you have to come together as one person with the same morals, the same values, the same principles, the same idea of parenting or making a home or making a business, if that's what you have. You have to be in cohesion. You have to be in synchronicity. You have to put yourself last. And I don't believe that when people get married, that they understand that you are never first. Like I love to hear people say it's 50-50. Marriage is never 50-50. Marriage is 100-100. You put 100% in, period. And here's why people get in trouble when they get married. They're always putting in and then waiting for the person to give them a pat on the back and say, "Oh, you really did a good job. Thank you." Marriage is not even about you acknowledging what I've done, what I've said, or how I've done it. It's about me selflessly giving everything that I have to a person that I have pledged to love unconditionally to death do us part. In sickness and in health, in wealth and in poverty. And I think sometimes when people get married, they don't think about that. They don't. So you have to come to a place in your marriage for it to even be successful or for it to even be peaceful, that your spouse is one of your favorite people. Yeah. So I can say that today. Tara, I'm glad that you said that. What about the days when you don't like them? I've had plenty. Ugh. I've had plenty of days when I didn't like him. And I think I've said to him, if we weren't married, I would never be your friend because I don't like you. But I can honestly say in 13 years or 15 years that we've been together, he is one of my favorite people. Now, because I'm an introvert by nature, which means I like me and I like being with me, I don't always want to be like this with him. And I think sometimes you have to choose. I don't want to say your battle, but I have to be very conscious of that. That when he wants to spend time with me, I'm okay just doing my thing. And, sometimes you have to, bring it back and say, okay, oh, did you want to spend some time? Yeah. So marriage is work, but it's what you put into it. And I believe that God has really taught me, Miranda, how to maintain and manage my love walk in my marriage. All right. That's what I've learned. That's number 35. Number 36. Worrying is overrated. Worrying is overrated. There's a scripture in Proverbs that talks about, you wait up in vain, or you worry in vain, lest the watchman watches for you. You're staying up and watching when God's supposed to be watching is a vain thing to do. You're not helping the situation. It also says you're not to worry about anything. Well, worrying is very overrated. Okay. It contributes to your health issues. It's physically, mentally, and emotionally draining. And it also it is a very strong indicator that there's a lack of trust. So whether it's in your spouse, your children, I won't say your children, I say the way you parented your children. If you worry all the time about your children, then you are saying that you don't trust that you planted well. Okay, I've learned that. If you always have to worry and be the helicopter parent, you're hovering, and you're always worrying about what they're doing, when they're doing it, and when they're not with you, then you didn't plant very well. So you have to not worry about you as a planter unless you just didn't plant at all. Now, if you were a parent and you know that you planted good seeds and you know that people have come by and planted good seeds, you're going to have to trust God that somebody else is going to water, and then he'll give the increase. But to worry about your children is not only a sin, it's overrated, and you're killing your gut. I've learned that worry is overrated. I can't worry about what other people think about me. I can't worry about things that I don't have, things that I can't get, things that I don't possess. I can't worry about. I've already told you how I feel about the past. I don't go there at all. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, don't even entertain it. So I don't worry about that. But worry in itself is overrated. If you go to the doctor and you have a bad report, or they say, well, we need to redo that test. To worry is overrated. It builds your blood pressure. It makes you older. It makes you grumpy. Have you ever seen somebody who always looks like something stink? Worry, overrated. I've learned that. That's number 36. Number 37, working out my own soul salvation is a full-time job. Let me say that again. 37, working out my own soul salvation is a full-time job. I do not have time to pick you apart about what you're doing or what you're not doing. Now, when you're married, and you and your spouse are building something, and you can say to your spouse as a form of accountability, I don't see you're praying. Where are we going with this? What's our vision? That's not what I'm talking about. You're not working out their soul salvation. And I'm talking about as a wife, you're really asking okay, so what's the oversight? You're pastoring this home. What is it that we're doing? And then if you say, well, I noticed you ain't been praying. You haven't been reading your word. That's not you working out their soul salvation. That's you being concerned as a partner in the marriage, and as the wife, what are we doing? I'm talking about people who just dogging folk out about what they're doing. It's a full-time job trying to make sure that I'm good. It is a full-time job trying to make sure that I'm good with God, that I'm maintaining, that I'm reading, that I'm worshiping, that I'm meditating, that I, am working out my own soul salvation. Okay. I've learned that in my 49 years. I don't stress about other people's soul salvation. I do. And I have said this in the last month or so, I do need to do a better job of soul winning. Because I'm in a position now. I do show people Jesus, but I remember a time when I first got saved, in my late 20s, 25, 26, I was excited about soul winning. I know for me, I probably need to do a better job of soul winning, not trying to police people's salvation, but really being excited about bringing people to Christ again. All right. I'm talking about me. This is my birthday party, remember? Okay. Number 38. The best skill that I have is empathy and positive regard. Empathy and positive regard. Listen, when you are able to see what's on people, what they're going through and what they've been through, you have a much better perspective of where they're going and how you should treat them. So my best skill, which is why I think I'm good at counseling. I love it because I have empathy and positive regard. I never look at a person's actions or what they say as the final answer. I'm always going to be looking at the bigger picture. I'm going to be looking at the spirits and the pathology from their family and their environment. And so that helps me with my love walk, and it helps me with forgiveness. It does. It helps me. So empathy and positive regard. I have a lot of empathy and positive regard to people, and I don't hold people up to a standard that I don't even have myself. All right. 39. This is a pet peeve. I hate multi-level marketing. I said it and I feel so much better. Listen, I've done it all. I've done Mary Kay. I've done Avon. I've done Arbonne. I don't like it, guys. I'll buy from you all day long, but I am not a salesperson. I'm a counselor. So I don't like it. That's my truth, and I'm sticking with it. Okay. I'm not a good product pusher. I'll use your product all day long. I will send people to you, but I am not good at multi-level marketing. All right, I said it. I think that's my only beef. Number 40. Not every trial is necessary, but ultimately every trial has been used for my good. All right. So not every trial that I've had is necessary. What am I trying to say? Some of those trials that I've had, I've caused them. But again, all things work for the good. So I'm excited about the fact that God leaves nothing on the table and he uses everything. I'm super excited that he loves us enough to make it work for our good, even if you caused it. So I've learned that not every trial that I've had has been necessary, but ultimately it was used for my good. All right. Number 41. I'm relieved to know that I don't know everything, and that's okay. I'm relieved. I don't have to know everything. Listen, the first time that I've ever told someone, I don't know. Do you know how much relief that is? I think sometimes when you're in a certain position, whether it be in the church or whether it be in your business or whether it be in your home, you are expected to know everything, right? Especially when you're prophetic. People think that you're a genie in a bottle, that you're looking at the world and you're telling them what they're going to have for breakfast tomorrow. No, that's medium stuff, and that's a psychic, and I don't work like that. So it's okay. I've learned in 49 years that it's okay to tell people, I don't know. I'm good with that, right? I don't know everything. Now, let me say, I do know a lot. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of information, but I don't know everything. And I love the fact that God has made me a teachable person. I'm very teachable. I love to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. I will always be in someone's classroom, whether it's for a degree or not. But I love learning. And so it's okay to say, I don't know. Okay. It also keeps me very humble to know that there is a man who knows way more than I do. And I look to the Father for the answer. Now, if I am in a position like with my clients and I say, I don't know, I'm going to always tell them, let me research that and get back to you. Okay. I don't just leave them, I don't know, and just let them be out there by themselves. But I am in a position to say, I really don't have the answer to that. And I'm going to tell you what taught me that. Grief therapy. I think I shared with you guys last week that one of the best things my supervising mentor counselor told me was that you don't have to fill every space of silence with something. And so grief counseling really helped me to realize that sometimes people don't need you to tell them anything. They just want to know that you're there. And so I don't know everything. I don't know why my mom died. I don't know. I don't know why someone else died. I don't know why this coronavirus is as rampant as it is. I can give you my opinion. I can give you my conjecture. I can give you my thoughts, but I don't know why. And that's very freeing to me. So I've learned that in 49 years of living. Number 42, my opinion on what to do or what not to do does not matter. That's why I always tell my clients when they come in, I can't tell you what to do. My opinion on your situation does not matter. What I think does not matter. And when people come to counseling, it's not about me telling them what to do. It is about me helping them process their very own thoughts and their very own actions and their very own decisions. All right? So, my opinion, what I think, it doesn't matter. I'm only concerned about why I do what I do. Now, I'm huge on motive. As a matter of fact, I think that's going to be the next Dr. M's table that I do. Motive. It is not what you do. It's why you do what you do. I'm huge on motive, right? Because I believe that God is huge on motive, because we need to examine the contents and the desire and the intent of our heart. It's not what you do. It's why you do what you do. Right. And I think it's very different. I was going to say difficult, but that's not the word. It's very different for me as a therapist, because I do have a little bit more insight, because I am prophetic by nature and a seer. So I can see motive. And I have to be very careful that I stay in a place of objectivity and not judgment, because I see motive. So what I try to do is make it very plain that the person that I see counsel, they have to examine their own motive. I don't need to tell them what their motive is, even though I see it, even though I know it. I need for them to come to a place in their heart, their mind, their soul, their will, to know their own motive. Why do you do what you do? What's the purpose that you really did that? Why did you really put that Facebook post up? Why did you really say that comment? Why do you do what you do? Motive. I'm huge on that. And because I'm so huge on that for other people, I always examine my heart. I have to always keep it in check. Do I always get it right? No. Do I get chastised by the Lord? Absolutely. Do I get rebuked by the Spirit? Yes. Motive is everything. Why you do what you do. I live by that. All right. 43. I love books. I love writing. I love reading. I love creating. I showed you all my journals at the beginning. I love books. And if I had to do a quick assessment, 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 bookcases in my house. I have maybe 5 or 6 in one office. That's Benson. I have 2 in my office in Goldsboro. I love books, guys. And they make me come alive. I love them. Do I use them? I said I have 3. I have more than 3 upstairs. I have 4 bookcases upstairs. Yes, books make me come alive. I love them. I love reading. I love writing. I love creating. And I thank God. I know that this coronavirus, this quarantine has been a huge inconvenience for some. It has for me as well. I know that it's been daunting. It's been disabling, and it's been downright sad because people have lost their lives. But I can remember sometime in January or maybe even December asking the Lord for time. I did. I said, God, I just don't have enough time. He's given me time. He really has. He's given you time. And so I thank him for that, because the time has enabled me not to just be in his face, at his feet, because I really feel like, I really sense that God has given us this time not to just fill every minute and every space with stuff, but to really get ourselves recalibrated and reset back in his presence, right? And so with the time, I've been able to write, and I'm grateful for that. All right. Number 44. My ultimate job is to be the in-house counselor, therapist for a huge corporation. I meant to say my ultimate, I guess if you wanted to say, well, what's your dream job? That should have said my ultimate dream job. So I watched this series with my husband, and in this particular series, there's a therapist who is employed by a major corporation, and that's all she does. I mean, she makes millions. I love that. I was telling my husband, I said, that would be awesome just to be the in-house therapist to like a company or a corporation, you know, to have my business on the side, but have other people working that. I don't have to go to the office every day, but I would love that. So if I had to give you my dream job, that would be one. Being a college professor is number 2. I do want to do that. That is my ultimate dream job. I do want to, I guess because I grew up watching A Different World. I love the whole college experience. I loved my time at Radford University. I absolutely enjoyed myself in college. It was very fun. And I learned a lot. I grew a lot. But yeah, I would love to be a college professor, and catch this. I'd love to live on campus. Yeah. So I'd love to be a college professor with like a little apartment or like a brownstone on the campus. Like I want to walk to work every day amongst the college students. You know, I don't want to drive off and have my estate somewhere. I want to be on the campus with the kids. Yeah. That's my dream job. All right. Number 45. I've learned how to be comfortable with God shifts. Okay. I've learned how to be comfortable with God shifts. They either test me or they promote me, or they can sometimes do both. So what's a God shift? Moving to Goldsboro was a God shift. For those of you who know me and know, you know, when I left Goldsboro in 2001, 2002, whatever the year was, I have no intentions of moving back to Goldsboro because my mom is not here anymore. I really don't have any reason to be here. But it was a God shift. And I know it was a God shift because of how succinctly everything was put together, and it moved so swiftly that I know that this is a place of both testing and promotion. So I've learned to be comfortable with God shifts, and I go with them. I go with the flow. I don't buck them. Now, I used to buck them in the beginning, and I failed every test. But now I'm comfortable, and I realize that a God shift provides an opportunity for application and demonstration of the information that I've already learned. Did you catch that? A God shift provides an opportunity for application and demonstration of the information that I've already learned. So I'm very comfortable with God shifts, and I like to go with the flow of what God is doing. Okay. All right. Number 46. I'm almost done, guys. Thank you for my party. I appreciate you showing up for me virtually on my birthday. Number 46. I've learned that it's okay to retreat. I've learned that it's okay to retreat, to recharge, to recalibrate, to revive me. I have stopped making excuses and or apologies about my need for retreating once a quarter. Because of the nature of what I do and the information that I take in and the weight it becomes on my chest and my shoulders for the secrets that I house of other people, I have learned for Miranda that it is beneficial for me to retreat quarterly. And I'm good with that. Now, what is retreat? Retreat doesn't mean that I'm going somewhere and binge watching Netflix. Not necessarily. So just like with this quarantine, yes, has there been a day that I took an entire day and just watched TV? Absolutely. but we've been quarantined for the last 3 weeks. Have I watched TV every day, all day? No, because I don't believe this is the reason why we are in the house. I believe that it is a time of retreating, recalibrating, realigning. But I do believe that you need a day of just brain rest. And so I don't make apologies for taking vacations. I don't make apologies for taking weeks off. I don't make apologies for telling people not now. And this is what I've learned in my 49 years too. This is very important for the well-being of my mental health. Your emergency is not my emergency. Yeah, even my clients. Now, unless they're going to kill themselves or kill somebody, of course, obviously that is a true emergency. But your emergency is not my emergency, which means if I close my doors at 7 p.m. and you didn't make an appointment between the hours of 10 and 7, you wanting to chit chat and talk at 10 p.m. is not my emergency. And you have to call back the next day. I've shared this with my loctician. She's still on that. She said, I'm learning that brain rest. I've shared with her. I said, as much as I love you, and I do, she is one of my best friends, one of the greatest supporters of everything that I do. I love her with the love of the Lord and then some. But I've said to her, sis, as much as I love the fact that your hands do wonders on my head, if you were ever to call me and say, listen, I can't do your hair today, I just need a break, I'm good with that. She needs a break. She works 2 full-time jobs. She works and then she works on hair, sometimes to the wee hours of the morning. She's a wife and a mother. She needs a break. And I'm good with her saying, I can't see you this month. Can we just go on to I'm good with that. I even said to her, when this whole thing started, she was talking about appointments. And I said, well, I just need one before. And I think it was March the 16th, because I haven't seen her since February or January, one of those months. Anyway, I'm good. I mean, she needs this break too. So Tara, I hope you're resting. All right. Doctor's orders. You need to rest. But my point is, you can't make apologies for having to rest. I am a firm believer that most of the people who have nervous breakdowns, go away from here, suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, and have all types of health ailments, is because they never learned the power of rest and retreat. When people go on a retreat, they may go and learn information, but the person who put the retreat on always makes sure that it's a serene place. It's a place where you can unplug. And most of the places when you go on a retreat, they tell you not to bring your phone. So I'm saying I've learned the power of not doing absolutely nothing for at least a week or maybe longer for once a quarter. Okay. So, back in the old days when I worked, we get 2 or 3 weeks of vacation a year. And then you plan one in the summer, you plan one at Christmas, and you plan one for your kids' spring break. I can't do that anymore. I need to take a break every 3 months for a while, because my brain is like always going, right? Okay. It's okay to be quiet, to become vocal. All right. So you have people even during this quarantine. I mean, I really should be saying something. I'm being quiet until the Lord says it's okay now to be vocal. Sometimes you have to be quiet to become vocal. You don't have to be the one to always jump up and have something to say. It's okay to be quiet, to be vocal. I've learned that. It's okay to appear wrong to make things right. So it's okay to have people lie on you. It's okay to make people, I won't say make people, but it's okay for people to think that they know the situation and they really don't. And your stance is quiet because that makes things right. I have learned that you do not have to defend a lie. You do not have to defend yourself. You don't. I've learned that God will fight your battle every time. Okay? And I've learned that it's okay for you to say no. when you want to say no. And I've also learned that it's okay for you to say yes when you want to say no when you want to say yes. It's okay for you to think about the situation. And if the Lord tells you, no, that's not a good opportunity for you, and everything in you wants to say yes, it's okay for you to say no. I think what happens is, especially in the age of social media, we're always comparing ourselves to other people, and what they have is bigger, better, and shinier. We think that we should be doing something too. But sometimes it's just okay for you to say no. And I've learned that that's okay. If I say no to this opportunity and God is prompting me to say no, then that means that he has something better for me down the road. Listen, if I can tell you, you can read about it in my next book. Okay. You can read about it in my next book. But there was an opportunity. I'll just say this much. There was an opportunity for me to do something, and I was really excited about it, and it fell through. And months later, the Lord presented, and I'm not saying it wasn't the Lord the first time. I believe that the Lord allows things to test you again. But months later, the Lord opened up a door. I walked through it, and it was 10 times better than it would have been had I walked through the first door. All I'm saying to you is trust the process. All right? So it's okay for you to say no when you don't want to do it. And it is way okay for you to say no, especially when God tells you to say no and you want to say yes. All right. 47. It's okay for you to fail as long as you both learn the lesson and turn the page. I shared this with some young people not too long ago. And, we grow up with failure is not an option. Yes, failure is an option. I've learned that at 49. Failure is an option because failure actually helps to teach you what to and not to do the next time. So failure is only bad. I've learned this at 49 if it does not teach you a lesson and if you do not turn the page. So learn the lesson, because you learned the lesson so you won't repeat it. And then you turn the page. I think what we do is we fail and we ruminate. So when you fail and you ruminate in your failure, then you, in your mind, think of yourself as being a failure. No, you're not a failure. What you did, that one incident, failed. Learn the lesson, turn the page, move on. I've learned that. Failure is not necessarily a bad thing. If my husband was on camera, he would tell you that he watched me almost probably lose my marbles trying to complete my dissertation. And I was very frustrated one night to the point of tears. And I said, I quit. And he said to me, number one, you're not quitting because you're not a quitter. He said, and number two, take the frustration of what was said to you. Is it true? And do it better. Oh my God. Ding, 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 ding. It was a lesson. It was. Because I wouldn't say that what was said to me was true, but it did push me to do better. And so now, having done the whole dissertation experience, it was grueling, but it has given me empathy and compassion for those who are also doing it now. And all I want to do is help them to know that the process is not going to be always this bad. So it did help me. All right. What number am I on? 48. Number 48. Being busy is not necessarily productive. Being busy is not necessarily productive. I've learned that. Resting is not just laying down and sleeping. I've learned that. Rest for me equates to, again, retreating. Okay. So I don't necessarily have to be asleep, eating a bag of chips and watching Netflix. But to retreat means to get the time to think and to formulate and to create. That's my retreat. So resting is not just laying down and sleeping, and being busy is not necessarily productivity. All right. Number 49. And I'm almost done. 49. Because today I'm 49. Number 49. My stumbling blocks have become my stepping stone. My stumbling blocks have become my stepping stone. Every accolade, every measure of success, every opportunity, every failure, every trauma, every experience, every happenstance, every event, every hurt, every lesson, every betrayal, everything in my 49 years, I have and I will continue to surrender it to God for the usage and the upbuilding of his kingdom. So nothing that I have done has ever been bad. Nothing have I done has ever been regrettable. Nothing that I have done has ever made me not be lovable as it pertains to God. And so I'm really excited about the 49 years that I've been here. And I'm proud. I'm super proud of the way that God has orchestrated everything. And I can see clearly that I'm appreciative and grateful. That even though I'm used to being at the beach or on vacation during this week, I'm super grateful to God for having an atmosphere of peace, love, prosperity that includes wealth, health, mental health, emotions, all of that. I'm super grateful to God for having a healthy son, a healthy husband. I'm just super grateful, guys. So 49, I wanted to give you something because we're so used to getting on our birthday. And so let me go through here and see if there's any questions or comments. I know this is number 2. And I'm sorry about the first one. But I had to jump on my phone and leave the spectrum alone. Let's see here. I think this, thank you, Maxine. Tell my brother happy birthday. And I'm going to tell him personally when I jump off here. But we are twins, me and my brother, Jeff Parker. We always celebrate our birthdays together every year. So tell Jeff I said happy birthday. I'll hop on Facebook in a minute and give him my happy birthday. Helping them to, yes, Tara, that's what we do. We help people to process. Thank you, Reba. Thank you. It has been an awesome day. Hey, Yeverton, Mike. Okay, Monica has a question. If you see that they're not being truthful about why they did what they do you then bring it to their attention? That is an excellent question, Monica. And I would advise, depending on the level of the relationship. So like if it were my husband, I would definitely bring it to his attention because I'm his wife. And the level of our relationship warrants that I say to him, listen, your motive was jacked up. And that's not the real reason why you did what you did. And I can see that. I'm not sure that I would say that to a client, Monica, because our relationship is clinical. I would definitely say that to my friend. I would say it to a friend because of the level of friendship that we have, they would be able to take it. And I would never say it maliciously or unkind. So I wouldn't say it like I had an upper hand or I know more than them or I'm better than them. I wouldn't say it like that. But I would definitely bring it to a friend's attention because they need to be aware that I can see them. Like, what kind of friend am I to just let you dupe yourself and to dupe me? Like, that's not friendship, right? So I try to be authentic in everything that I do. I take, especially the older I get, I take relationships very seriously. And if I find that they're not working for me and they don't bring peace to my life and they don't bring joy and stability, I can love you from over there. Now, I've learned that in my 49 years too, that you don't necessarily have to, I think people think that if you don't have a close relationship with people that you don't love them. That's not true. You can love everybody, and I do, but that doesn't mean that you are allowed in my space, because your environment that you bring may be very toxic. I don't allow toxic people in my space because I have to be well. I have to be well for the job that I do. So as a prophet, as a preacher, as a teacher, as a mom, as a wife, as a counselor, I have to be well. So my environment has to be toxic free. So I don't do toxic relationships at all. That's a great question though. Yes, God shift. Any more questions? Good. Yes, Tara, get some rest. Say no. Say no. And I'm going to tell you something. When you say no and it's a Holy Ghost no, God will bless you. Listen, the Lord prompted me to sow a seed. And you know, are we in a recession? Whatever we're in, the money is not flowing the way it usually does. Is that correct? Yes. So, you know, I think a lot of people, they look at, again, glory. They don't understand story. Long story short, you know, I'm in the business of counseling and I have a couple of Medicaid contracts. Well, Medicaid has sliced our rates tremendously. But the Lord prompted me to sow this seed. Long story short, when God tells you to sow a seed, that means that he has something greater for you. The Lord honored that. And I'm grateful. I'm so very grateful. So you have to be in a position to hear the Lord, to do the hard things. Sometimes a hard thing is to cut somebody off when they are not good for your environment. They're not good for your space. And I'm good with that. Even if it were me, even if I was the person that was being cut off from somebody else because I wasn't good for their space, I respect that and I'm good with that. Doesn't mean that I don't love them. That's right. That's right, Miss Davis, Long Handle Spoon Ministry. I do it all the time. Love you. All right. Questions, comments? Guys, you have been wonderful. It's 12:09. That means I've been on for 2 hours with my virtual birthday party. Woohoo! So I think I need to go and recharge myself. Okay? Recharge myself. You all have a wonderful and blessed day. Remember that Mondays are the greatest days of the week. This is an opportunity for you to do it differently than you did on last week or the month before. You got to retrain your brain as to how you think about things. Mondays are the bomb. Somebody has a question. Hold on. Cut off a lot of people's shoe. You're not jacking them out. That's right. Don't let people jack up your space. I try to tell the young people about being in a toxic relationship. Yes, I'm telling you, toxic relationships can kill you. Yes. This is another topic, another Dr. M's table, but I have been in relationships where they were soul ties and they were so toxic that they have you acting out of character. So yeah, you have to cut that stuff off. First of all, if it's a soul tie, you got to be delivered. And Monica, sometimes that's the issue. It's not that they continue to go back or stay. It's because the relationship has now become a soul tie. So when it's a soul tie, you have to be delivered from that. That there's a level of deliverance that has to take place. Sometimes you're in a relationship that you don't even want to be in. But because it's a soul tie, you really don't know how to break that tie. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Maybe I'll write a book. Oh, I'm sorry, Pastor Clary and Sister Bernice. Yeah, y'all have to go back and watch the replay. Oh, Tara, thank you. I've enjoyed every minute of it too. Hey, Aunt Jean. Hey, guys. Hey, Cooper. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 49 is fine. And I'm just grateful to be alive. I am grateful and I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to what God is doing differently. Again, even though this coronavirus, it has been deadly and devastating, I just believe God has done a hard reset. Do you know how on your computers, I used to hate this because even though I'm a techie, I don't really know what to do with the hard drive of a computer and all the insides and all the workings. So when my computer used to become overloaded with things like viruses and is slow and I had too many files on it, I would take it and they said, you have to do what's now called a hard reset. And so what they would do is back up your important stuff and then they would erase the hard drive like there was nothing ever on it. I believe that God is doing a hard reset for us, that some of the things that we used to do, we are no longer going to do that. We're going to be in a new normal. I said that yesterday. I think I did a post on that yesterday about having a new normal. And listen, it's going to take your brain a minute to adjust from the trauma of this coronavirus to now what's called a new normal. Even though I wasn't really good at it, I do enjoy history. And I had my son for his homeschool lesson last week do a report on the pandemic of 1918. It was called the Spanish flu. And what I learned from that is that for 2 years, now we haven't even been in this thing for 2 months. These people were in this for 2 years and their life was turned totally upside down. So for those of you who are climbing the walls and you haven't even been in the house for 2 months, we really don't know what the ramifications or the impact of this pandemic is really going to be. We don't know. I do know this. I do know that I prophesied 2 years ago that our school systems were going to be overhauled. I do know that God is doing that. He's doing an overhaul on our school systems. There's a lot of issues with our society that have been systemic issues, systems. They're totally being overhauled. Totally being overhauled. You're going to watch our healthcare system be overhauled. You're going to see our social justice system be overhauled. You're going to see our education system be overhauled. And you're going to see the church become overhauled. You're going to see religion and religious systems and religious customs and things that we've been doing that's not been God. It's going to be a total overhaul. So we're going to have to shift. That's why I said to you at 49, I've learned to shift with God. This is a major shift. And if you don't get your mind right and stop, going around saying, I can't wait till I go back to. You're not going back to anything. It's going to be totally different. The way we pick up our groceries is going to be different. The way we go to our barber and our beauticians it's going to be different, y'all. It is. And what we're learning is we can do more with less. Has anybody else besides me learned that? Listen, I think I've had, and I usually don't carry money in my wallet just because I use a card for everything, my debit card. But I've had the same $10 in my wallet since February the 10th. I think it's been, or February the 28th. One of those dates, probably the 28th. Let's just say March the 1st to be safe. I have had the same $10 in my wallet since March the 1st. Do you know why I've had the same $10 in my wallet since March the 1st and it's April the 13th? Because I haven't been spending any money. And I'm not saying that the money that I spent was unnecessary, because obviously if you're traveling, I've traveled between 2 counties because I have 2 different offices. So sometimes I got to get food on the run. And I've got to get my son something to eat, or I got to run into walk. My point is, life as we knew it is not going to be the same. And because I've had that same $10 in my wallet for the last 2 months, obviously I know that I can, 1, save money, but 2, there's some stuff that I've been doing that I just don't need. It's not a need. It's been a want. I want to go to Starbucks. I like Starbucks. I want to go to Panera Bread. I like Panera Bread, but I didn't need it. And so what I think God is showing us is that some of the stuff that we've been doing, it's not been necessary. It's not been out of necessity. It's been a lot of stuff that we wanted to do. We just been doing what we want to do because we want to do it. It ain't gonna be like that no more. And you have to mentally shift yourself to prepare. It has been good for me to have been in a retreat season, because as a therapist, I now have to mentally shift even the way I deal with my clients. Yes, Carnell, you can borrow $10. Always one in every bunch. My friend, ladies and gentlemen, Carnell Robinson, out of Harnett County. We worked together for 6 years at Harnett County Schools. And yes, sir, you may borrow $10. Anyway, we're going to have to do things differently. But I want to encourage you that the coronavirus and everything that's going down right now, this didn't take God by surprise, y'all. He's still on the throne. His promises are still yea and amen. Every prophetic word is still going to be so. But I heard a man of God say this morning, and this is so profound. And he was talking about himself. He was saying, I've had to go back and listen to my own prophetic words to the people as a whole. And he said, because prophets prophesy in part. We prophesy. We know in part. We prophesy in part. Nothing looks like it looks until you in hindsight go back and look at it and you're like, oh my God, this is what I prophesied. This is what's happening. So my point is, even in the prophetic words that you receive, this didn't take God by surprise, but it's in the way that we process what he's saying. It's in the way that we process what he's doing. For example, if a woman gets a prophetic word in her late 40s that she's going to give birth, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to give birth to a baby. It might be a prophetic gifting, or it might be a business, or it might be a ministry. I'm saying everything is not literal. Sometimes it's figurative. And then you have to really examine the prophetic word through the lens of a seer and through the word of God. You need to examine it, read, study, and really just understand what God is doing and what he's saying. Don't be discouraged is all I'm saying to you. Okay. It's very inconvenient staying in your house, spending 24/7 with your spouse and your children. It's inconvenient because we're used to just getting up and going. We're used to getting in our car and just driving. We're used to just doing whatever it is that we want to do. And we say that we ask God, and we say that we pray to God, and we say that he orders our steps. But have you really examined whether or not God tells you to do all the stuff that you say that he told you to do? I'm telling you, if you're not in a position of retrospective thinking and really understanding what you're seeing and how God is moving and what he's saying, I mean, are we really sold out? And I get it. It's inconvenient. It's not fun. You know, I was thinking about, you know, if today was a normal day, again, we would be gone. We would be on a trip. We had already said, okay, so the week of Easter, you know, we're going to the beach. We were going back to Myrtle. We ain't been Myrtle in a while. And so it is inconvenient. And it is, but what is God doing? And are you excited about breath in your body? I'm looking at all the names that's scrolling down, and I'm looking at all of you guys, and I'm grateful because A, you're safe. B, you're in your right mind. C, you're breathing on your own, and you don't have a ventilator doing that for you. Come on. So I have learned to recalibrate and rethink and re-examine and just have a lot of gratitude. So that's why I wanted to do my virtual party on today. Thank you for joining me. Listen, there's actually 2 videos. If you want to go back and watch the whole thing, it's in its entirety. I wanted to come on and share 49 things of gratitude that I've learned, failures, letdowns, just lessons, life lessons. So I wanted to just share 49 things that I've learned. So go back and look at both of the videos, share them if you'd like. I've had some people ask me or inbox me if I had Cash App. If you would like to bless the woman of God for her 49th birthday. I love gifts. I love all things birthday. I'm a birthday fanatic. So if you want to sow a seed, you're welcome to do that. You certainly don't have to do that. I'm not asking you for a seed. But if you want to, it is $ Miranda Y Pearson. That's $ MIRANDA capital Y capital PEARSON. All right. Listen, let me just say this too. The Lord prompted me to start a 21-day fast. And I'll put the directives up for this fast. It starts this week. 21 days, Daniel fast. Daniel simply means no meat, no delicacy. So somebody's gonna have to help me eat all this cake, but no meat, no man-made sweets for 21 days. And I will be praying at midnight for 21 days. Y'all pray for me. Jesus, pray for me. You know it's God. You know it's God. Okay. I can do 6 a.m. I can do 5 a.m. But midnight, this chick is asleep by 9 or 10. So this is God. Okay. So pray for me, but we'll be praying at midnight. And this is in the Soul and Body Detox group. Soul and Body Detox group. So again, I'll be giving you directives either today or tomorrow. And we're going to go for 21 days and we're going to just be praying about the coronavirus. We're going to be praying about no new infections. We're going to be praying for the people that's in the hospital. We're going to be praying for insight as to what the enemy tried to do. This is what I know. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. We get super excited about God's blessing and we blame the devil for everything. But what we don't do is take the time to learn strategy. The devil has been studying you since you came out of your mother's womb. He knows everything about you, your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your proclivities. He studies you. He studies you. And what we don't do is study strategy and tactic to combat the enemy. So my prayer is that during those 21 days, God will give us concrete strategy to combat the enemy and to further share the gospel to those who don't know the Savior and to become and to continue to be a light in a dark world. Some of us have let our wicks go out. There's no oil in our lamps. Some of us have no light anymore. It's very dim. Some of us, we've hidden it under a bushel. It's not high on a hill. And so it's not that you're ashamed for people to know that you're a Christian, but your zeal has left the building. And so we want to be zealous and knowledgeable. We want to be both. We want to have zeal and knowledge. And so let's begin to just bombard heaven, giving God no rest, even though we know he doesn't rest. He neither sleeps nor slumbers. We're not going to rest because we're going to be on our post praying. And so we'll do it like we do in the morning. We do our 6 a.m. For those of you who have joined me for years in doing our 6 a.m. prayer, we'll do it at midnight, and we'll go from midnight until the Lord tells us to sign off. Okay. And so again, I love you guys. A big kiss from me. Happy birthday to me. Thank God for you. Thank you for helping me celebrate. Thank you for helping me to process what I've learned in my 49 years. You have actually been privy on today to my journal. And these are things that I journal about. And so I pray that you all have an awesome rest of your day. I pray that your week is spectacular. I pray that during this time of retreat and rest that God gives you creative ideas and things that you can do to market yourself, your businesses, if you have them. I pray that your children are settled and that your spouses are settled. I pray that your house is full of food and comfort. And I pray that shalom, shalom envelops you all the days of your life. I love you with the love of the Lord. And as always, as I sign off, shalom, shalom. Peace.